Did you know that some of the vegetables you've trusted your whole life might quietly be doing more harm than good? If you're between 60 and 80 and you've been eating vegetables thinking they're always the healthy choice, this video may surprise you. Because science is now revealing that some common vegetables may actually be silently harming your joints, stiffening your blood vessels, and increasing your risk of heart failure. This isn't about scaring you, it's about protecting you. And the difference between knowing and not knowing could be years of mobility, independence, and health. So today, we'll walk through 5 vegetables you may want to avoid, or at least prepare differently, to protect your heart and joints. These vegetables are still part of many seniors' daily diet, but they may be causing inflammation, pain, and sudden health issues. But when you understand what's really happening behind the scenes, you can take control quickly, simply, and without giving up on vegetables altogether. By the end of this video, you'll understand how just a few small changes in your diet can mean fewer hospital visits, less pain, and a longer, stronger life. So if you care about protecting your heart, your joints, and your independence as you age, you're exactly where you need to be. Now let's get into the 5 science-backed vegetables to be cautious about after 60. Number 1, nightshade overload. One of the first hidden mistakes many seniors make is regularly eating too many nightshade vegetables like tomatoes, eggplants, bell peppers, and white potatoes without realizing how they might be quietly inflaming their joints. These vegetables contain compounds called alkaloids, which in some older adults can worsen inflammation, especially in joints already worn down by time or arthritis. The trouble is, many of us grew up thinking tomatoes were heart healthy and potatoes were a comfort food. And they are, but not for everyone, and not in large amounts. In your 60s and beyond, your body becomes more sensitive to certain triggers. Nightshades in particular can cause swelling or joint stiffness that you might have chalked up to just aging. But it might not be aging, it could be your diet. A woman named Dorothy, 72, had been waking up with stiff hands for years. She'd tried creams, medications, even hand braces. But it wasn't until her daughter suggested cutting out tomatoes and eggplants for a few weeks that the swelling finally started to ease. For her, nightshades were the missing puzzle piece. From a cardiovascular perspective, some researchers also point out that nightshades may affect calcium metabolism, which could influence blood vessel health. This doesn't mean they're dangerous for everyone, but if you're eating tomato soup, potato dishes, or stuffed bell peppers every day, and your joints or heart seem off, it may be time to pause and evaluate. Small changes, like switching white potatoes for sweet potatoes, or using zucchini instead of eggplant, can make a noticeable difference. The goal isn't to cut everything out, but to tune in. As we get older, it's not about eating less. It's about eating right for your body. Number 2, oxalate buildup from spinach and beets. Another vegetable mistake that silently affects many seniors is relying too heavily on high oxalate greens, like spinach and beets, thinking they're doing something great for their body, when in fact, they could be quietly contributing to kidney strain and joint pain. Oxalates are natural compounds found in certain vegetables. In small amounts, they're usually harmless. But when eaten frequently in older age, especially when the kidneys are already under a little stress, they can start to cause trouble. Some people notice this in the form of muscle aches, stiffness in the knees or back, or even sharper uric acid flare-ups. Others might begin developing kidney stones without realizing their spinach. Smoothie habit could be partly to blame. There was a gentleman named Harold, 68, who prided himself on eating clean. Every morning he blended raw spinach with beets for breakfast. But over time, his uric acid levels crept up. And one day he found himself in the ER with a kidney stone. His doctor gently explained that it wasn't his age, it was the oxalates. Now Harold still eats greens, but he rotates them. Collard greens, arugula, romaine, and watercress became his staples. He also learned that lightly steaming spinach cuts oxalate levels dramatically. The message here isn't to fear vegetables, it's to understand them. Some of the healthiest looking foods can become silent triggers when the body changes. And unfortunately, many people over 60 don't realize this until damage has already begun. If you've ever noticed joint stiffness, gut discomfort, or trouble with your kidneys without a clear reason, it might be worth looking at your oxalate intake. You don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. Just pay attention to what your body tells you. And remember, it's not about strict rules. It's about giving your body what it can truly use. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3, nightshade vegetables that trigger inflammation. There's a group of vegetables that sound perfectly harmless, even healthy until they're not. Tomatoes, eggplants, peppers, and white potatoes belong to what we call the nightshade family. Now, for many folks, these cause no issues at all. But for others, especially those over 60, nightshades can quietly increase inflammation in the body, particularly in the joints and gut. It's not something you'll notice overnight. The signs are subtle: waking up with stiff fingers, a swollen knee that won't calm down, or a gut that feels bloated even after a light meal. These symptoms often get brushed off as just age, but that's not the full story. Nightshades contain a chemical compound called solanine, which in sensitive individuals can irritate the digestive tract and increase inflammatory responses. And while solanine is found in small amounts, those small amounts add up over time, especially when nightshades are eaten daily. Let me tell you about Grace, a 72-year-old retired teacher who loved her garden and her homemade tomato sauce. For years, she assumed her swollen hands were from overuse or arthritis. But after a friend suggested eliminating nightshades for a few weeks, she noticed a surprising change. The pain eased. Her grip returned. Her rings slid on more easily. It wasn't magic, it was just awareness. She didn't stop eating tomatoes altogether, but now she cooks them well, avoids them several days a week, and no longer eats them late at night. That's the kind of wisdom we gain in later life. Not from fear, but from tuning into how our body reacts. If you've been waking up stiff, or if your knees or fingers seem more inflamed than they should be, just try going without nightshades for 10 days. Replace them with sweet potatoes, leafy greens, or zucchini. Then slowly reintroduce them and see what happens. The goal isn't to make food an enemy. It's to stop fighting battles inside your body you didn't know you were fighting. At our age, we've earned the right to feel good in our own skin, and sometimes that starts with a simple shift on the plate. Number 4, canned vegetables loaded with sodium and preservatives. Not all vegetables are created equal, and certainly not all forms of them. Canned vegetables might seem like a convenient choice, especially when you live alone or don't feel like cooking from scratch. They're quick, affordable, and last forever in the pantry. But here's the catch: many of them are packed in so much sodium and chemical preservatives that they quietly undo the very benefits vegetables are supposed to offer. Let's take green beans, for example. Fresh or lightly steamed, they support heart health and digestion. But when they're sitting in a can with 400 to 800 milligrams of sodium per serving, that's a problem, especially for seniors managing blood pressure or heart conditions. And it's not just salt. Many canned vegetables contain compounds like bisphenol A or BPA from the can lining, which can interfere with hormones, increase oxidative stress, and even affect joint function over time. There's a story that comes to mind. Frank, a 78-year-old widower from Ohio, used to stock up on canned corn, peas, and carrots every winter. He thought he was doing his body good, but after a checkup revealed rising blood pressure and unexplained swelling in his ankles. His doctor asked about sodium intake. Frank was surprised when the culprit wasn't chips or processed meats, but his healthy canned vegetables. After switching to frozen or no salt added versions and rinsing what he did use, the puffiness eased up and his numbers improved. The big takeaway here is that even healthy food becomes unhealthy when it's been altered too much. And our bodies, especially after 60, don't recover from these insults as quickly as they once did. When your kidneys and cardiovascular system are already working harder, with age, that extra sodium and chemical load can tip the balance and not in your favor. So next time you reach for that can, pause. Look at the label. If it has more than 140 milligrams of sodium per serving or ingredients you can't pronounce, put it back. Reach for low sodium or BPA-free options. Or better yet, get a small batch of frozen vegetables, steam them with a little olive oil, and let your body thank you for it. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5, pickled vegetables high in vinegar and sugar. Pickles might seem harmless, just cucumbers in a jar, right? But for older adults, these salty, tangy snacks can quietly sabotage heart health and joint comfort, especially when they're consumed regularly. Many pickled vegetables are swimming in brine loaded with vinegar, sugar, and salt. And while they might perk up your taste buds, they also crank up inflammation inside your body. Let's break this down. Vinegar isn't evil, it has its uses. But when pickled vegetables rely heavily on acidic preservatives and come packed with refined sugars, they push your system toward a pro-inflammatory state. That means more pressure on your joints, more aches in the morning, and more wear on your arteries. For someone with arthritis, diabetes, or high blood pressure, the risks multiply quickly. One gentleman I spoke with, his name was Walter, 82, from Georgia, loved his pickled beets. He'd eat them almost daily, thinking they helped his digestion. But over the years, he noticed his knees stiffening and his blood sugar creeping up. When his nutritionist reviewed his meals, the culprit wasn't just desserts, it was the pickled vegetables, hiding teaspoons of sugar and sodium in every serving. Once Walter cut back and switched to lightly steamed, fresh alternatives, his joint stiffness started easing up. His morning walks got longer. He felt like he had his legs back. It's a classic example of how even vegetables can work against you when they're over-processed and preserved the wrong way. When you're over 60, your body becomes more sensitive to chronic stressors. Things like glucose spikes, water retention, and cellular inflammation take a heavier toll than they did at 40. Your heart and joints are especially vulnerable to this kind of silent assault. So what should you do instead? If you really enjoy that pickled tang, try fermenting your own with minimal salt and no sugar. Or eat pickles sparingly. Think of them as a flavor accent, not a main dish. And always check the label if the ingredient list includes high fructose corn syrup, artificial coloring, or unpronounceable preservatives. Steer clear. When it comes to food, especially at our age, convenience should never come at the cost of health. Your joints and heart work hard to keep you mobile and independent. Let's not make their job harder with every bite. Number 6, eggplant loaded with nightshades and oxalates. Eggplant may look harmless sitting on your plate, but for some older adults, it quietly fuels joint pain and inflammation. It's part of the nightshade family along with tomatoes, peppers, and potatoes. And while these vegetables aren't dangerous for everyone, they can cause real problems for those with arthritis or sensitive digestion. Let me explain. Nightshades contain alkaloids like solanine that can increase inflammation in some people. They're not toxic in small amounts, but if your body's already dealing with joint degeneration, past injuries, or chronic autoimmune issues, these compounds can add fuel to the fire. For many seniors, the impact shows up as stiffness in the knees, swelling in the fingers, or that deep ache in the hips that just won't go away. Then there's the issue of oxalates. Eggplant contains a moderate level of oxalates, which can interfere with calcium absorption and even contribute to kidney stone formation if your body doesn't process them well. As we age, our kidneys become less efficient at clearing waste, so even modest amounts of oxalates can build up and cause trouble. I remember talking with a woman named Eileen, 75, from Arizona. She loved eggplant parmesan, ate it almost weekly. But over the years, her hands started cramping more often, and her knuckles felt swollen even in warm weather. Her doctor didn't find anything alarming in her blood work, but a holistic practitioner suggested cutting back on nightshades. 2 weeks after removing eggplant and peppers from her meals, Eileen said it was like someone had drained the fluid from her joints. She could knit again without pain. Of course, not everyone reacts the same. Some seniors eat eggplant with no issues. But if you're already dealing with joint stiffness or a history of kidney problems, it's worth experimenting. Try eliminating it for 2 or 3 weeks and notice how your body feels. The results might surprise you. And if you're looking for a substitute, zucchini and squash are fantastic alternatives. They're gentle on the gut, low in oxalates, and don't carry the same inflammatory risks. Just remember, when you're in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, it's not about what's popular or trendy. It's about what your body quietly thanks you for. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Final thoughts. Getting older isn't about giving up the foods you love. It's about getting wiser about what truly supports your body. Every bite either helps your joints move more freely or makes them ache a little more. Every meal either strengthens your heart or stresses it. And what we often don't realize is that the small choices, like which vegetables we toss into our salad or stir fry, can quietly shape how we feel every single day. The truth is, nobody teaches us how to eat for life after 60. Most of us just keep eating what we always have, assuming that if it was fine at 40, it must be fine now. But aging changes everything. Digestion slows down, inflammation creeps up, and tolerance for hidden irritants fades. That's why being selective, even with something as healthy-sounding as vegetables, becomes an act of self-care, not restriction. You don't need to panic or overhaul your diet overnight. Just start by being curious. If you've been dealing with stiff joints, unexplained fatigue, or heart palpitations after meals, ask yourself, could it be something on your plate? You deserve to feel good in your body, no matter your age. And sometimes that feeling starts not with a pill, but with a smarter grocery list. So I'll leave you with this. Try removing even one of these 5 vegetables for a couple of weeks. Replace it with something gentler, track how your body responds, and give yourself permission to be surprised. It's never too late to feel better. And sometimes that better feeling begins with a small, quiet choice at the dinner table. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.